What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Terrell Speaks, and we are back with another video. We here today to address this whole Shannon Sharpe deal. A lot of people been talking about it and talking about it and talking about it, so I guess voice my opinion on it. My thoughts on it is just simple. It's just simple as this. He put himself in this situation. Because out of all the women in the world, you're a celebrity, you're a megastar, ex-football player, talk show, got your own podcast making a lot of money. You could talk to any woman on the planet if you wanted to. And what I mean by any woman on the planet, you could talk to college professors, Harvard graduates, lawyers, big-time lawyers. You could talk to important women in the community, wherever the respective community is. You have, you have a lot more options than just Instagram chicks. 19-year-old Instagram chicks, and that clearly only want one thing, which is cash flow. You could talk to all different types of quality women. You could have whatever type you want because you're a celebrity. So why stoop to one of the lowest grade? Why salute to one of the ones that just only want money, only want this and that? Sure, you had a certain relationship where it was just, where, what you described is kinky and all that kind of stuff. But why not date a quality, someone that has a lot more authority and, that's doing a lot more. Someone that's not just chasing, green. Because this is all it is. All it is money. She's trying to cry like it's some type of rape situation so she can get some money. And then with people of that ethnicity, it's not surprising because a lot of them, they've been doing that since beginning of time, since I've always known. There have always been stories out about this. So why even go down that road? Because those type of women, they're quick to try to get involved with you and then act like you raped them or play victim and all this other stuff. So getting involved with people like that, you're only setting yourself up for failure. Why? Like I said, why not? You got school teachers, you got college professors, you got women in politics, you got women doctors, lawyers, judges that are women. Out of all the people. Because you're Shannon Sharpe. No matter what their credentials are and qualifications are, no matter how high they are up the food chain, you're still Shannon Sharpe. So you have a lot more options than this, so that's just my thing on that. So I'm just saying.
He's also now sharing a lot of information about his relationship with his accuser, admitting he may be into kinky stuff, but insisting he's no rapist. According to his team,
it was from the get-go.
We know he isn't that. It's just that they're we know what's going on, and nobody's stupid, but we also know that he put himself in this situation.
What some people would call very kinky sex, BDSM, and that the sex was from the start about choking, putting on dog collars, handcuffs.
And that the audio clip her lawyer released was just how they talk to each other.
I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
And he's saying there's clearly a difference between rough sex and forcible.
And of course, she's gonna use that as far as for her case. She's probably recording them the whole time. We know that it was all a setup, and probably more than likely somebody else is pulling the strings behind this. It's not her initiating all this. She probably has people in her ear, parents or anyone behind her has advisors that's telling her to pursue this, or has been telling her how to fleece him. That's why you don't pursue women like this, because you don't know what they're dealing. You don't know what kind of. She's probably could be being pimped out for all we know. You got a lot of these women that have pimps that are telling them what to do and how to do. You just don't know. So pursuing a person like this is just too risky, man. You better off, like I said, a Harvard graduate, someone that's high quality, one of those, like I said, one of those judges, lawyers, somebody that like that doesn't have a husband, doesn't have a man to go home to, doesn't have a man in their life. But since you're Shannon Sharpe, because a lot of those women, they might think they're too good for average men, but since you're Shannon Sharpe, you can pursue those women because you're high up on the food chain. So I mean, I'm just saying. Instead of these Instagram chicks and that have nothing to offer but headaches and lawsuits.
Sex. He knows the difference. It's like a weird thing to say. It's like, I'm gonna choke you in public. Oh no, you're gonna choke me? It's like saying, oh, have I been bad?
Ew, don't help on this one, okay?
All that being said, as at some point she goes no, then that means no.
Well, that's the question.
And in one released text message, the accuser says she was upset about one of their encounters and added, I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon. Now, what about Sharpe's attorneys saying they offered her at least...
Yeah, some of that stuff is probably text like that on purpose. But anyway, let's keep going.
$10 million to settle, which she refused.
Why would his attorney offer that up publicly?
To me,
I think what they offered that so she'd shut up. But I don't think it just didn't work because they're trying to get as much money as possible out of this. So they're trying to milk him for everything he's worth. Whatever the podcast is worth, whatever his net worth is, they're trying to get a huge chunk of that, if not all of it, because that's how this thing works. I doubt there was any rape or anything like that actually taking place, but you know, when you have greedy, money-hungry, grubbing people out there, that's what happens. And when you step your foot in the rabbit's hole, that's just what you get out of it. You know, you can't get involved with these type of people. Either you straighten up and fly right and get you a decent woman, or you just don't deal with these women. Because if you're out there fooling around, these women don't mean you no good out here. The ones out there that are doing this type of stuff, they're living this life. The Instagram chicks, the fast party life type women, the kinky sex type women, they're just not really good to deal with or fool around with at all. None of them are even worth your time because all they're gonna do is stuff like this. They're just not really good people to even deal with because they see you just as a piggy bank. That's all you're going to be to them. Now, like I said, that's why I mentioned people that had certain career paths, certain education levels and things like that, because, you know, sure, they're not perfect, but they're a better quality person than what you'll be dealing with out there in the streets, you know. So that's basically, you know, but we all know this by now.
her turning it down shows that it's not a money grab.
No, it shows that
Yeah, it is. It is a money grab. It's a bigger money grab.
it's a bigger shakedown.
What's more, sources say she
Exactly.
initiated
It's a bigger shakedown. She's trying to get him for everything he's worth.
the BDSM sex, and this went on for about 2 years.
Their regular routine was that Shannon, then they would.
Why was that relevant?
Well, that may be for a judge and jury to decide. Stay tuned.
Yep.
As many of the issues that Charlie faces, I do think he'd be a better president.
So John Cryer said
Okay.
that Charlie Sheen would.
Okay, I don't know. Let's see what we got here. Because I'm not I'm just saying, man. When you have stuff like that go on, I might not. Let's see. I rather watch that because I don't think it's necessary.
At Viberg, we're experts in small business insurance. We think through every risk factor for your
Don't care.
$1 million civil lawsuit in the state of Nevada. It accuses the
Okay, why is it?
Football
All right.
Hall of Famer and broadcaster Shannon Sharpe says he's stepping aside from his job at ESPN in light of new rape allegations. On Sunday, a woman filed a $50 million civil lawsuit in the state of Nevada. It accuses the 54-year-old of raping her multiple times. The claim says that
Man, I doubt multiple times. Why hasn't anything been done about it before now? If it's multiple times, that's just a blatant lie. But like I said, he did it to himself by pursuing a woman like this. That was just money hungry, grubbing, greedy. Got all kinds of, the history of us and them. They always accuse us of rape and stuff like that, always. But like I said before, out of all the women in the world, why pursue somebody like that? Why do that? So you kind of knew better. I'm just wanting he knew better than this. So
the pair was in a, quote, rocky consensual relationship for nearly 2 years, and Sharpe was allegedly frequently aggressive, and she says raped her. Sharpe says he needs time away from ESPN to be with his family and fight the, quote, false allegations.
That's all it is.
All right, everybody, listen up. With all the big
it won't let me stop the video. Okay, anyway. 'Cause I'm not, $1
million civil law.
No, this thing is just doing. Got to mind its own here. But anyway, like I said, yeah, he brought it on himself. He shouldn't have really involved himself in no junk like that. $50 million lawsuit. Yeah, she's just reaching. She wants money, and we all know it, and we all know why, and we all know the history. However, Shannon Sharpe, he needs a reminder. Apparently, he forgot how those type of women are, so he has to get a reminder. So I mean, when you make those type of decisions and make those type of mistakes, that's what happens. Okay, so that's all I can say. That's what happens when you put yourself out there. That's what you have to deal with. But I hope it goes well for him. But at the same time, if she does win, then that's something he'll have to learn. He'll learn not to do that anymore. He'll learn not to get involved in anything like that, because it just makes him look crazy. It makes him look kind of wacky for this. It makes him look wacky because he's at his age and at his caliber, he should have knew better than this. Than to go out there fooling with women like that. So that's all I have to say on this. T-Dub signing out. Catch y'all on the next one.